The Guest House, a poem by Rumi. This being human is a guest house, and every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. This invitation to welcome all visitors is really fundamental into how we might live our lives. And in particular, how we might do these practices. These experiments in just sitting and seeing what arises. So we're going to use this poem partly as a theme for this practice. So let's just, maybe as we started right at the beginning, just see where we are. Take stock of where your thoughts are right now, or where your feelings are, in terms of any thoughts that are here, any feelings that you might notice. You might just be aware. Be aware of your environment. The sounds, the smells, the familiarities or the unfamiliarities. You're just being aware of all the things that you are aware of. The feelings in your body. Whatever's here for you, just seeing for what it is, seeing here this present moment. And here you might then begin to just collect that attention and bring it just towards the feelings of the body, of sitting, feelings of warmth and coolness, feelings of your hands placed wherever they are, pressure on your legs or your buttocks as you sit. Feel of movement as you breathe. As your diaphragm lowers and raises as your lungs fill and empty. And so we find in our lives that so often we have visitors. Here, if our body and our mind was a house, then sometimes visitors turn up. sometimes invited, but mostly uninvited. These visitors are thoughts, feelings, they're experiences. There are reactions to things that happen. So notice right now what visitors there may be here. What has come a-calling in this moment? And we notice for ourselves, as Rumi noted, that some visitors create chaos, disarray, or bring with them energy, wild, unbridled perhaps. Other visitors too might just slip in quietly, unnoticed, and just sit around in the background, not drawing attention to themselves, but still there. And when we begin to notice how visitors arrive and depart, we also begin to notice how we quite naturally sometimes try and lock the door to prevent access from some. Might be a thought or a feeling or some external noise perhaps that we'll try and shut out and ignore. But in doing so, how much effort does it take to bar the door and lean against the door? Or others too that have already arrived, how quick we are to try and shoo them out through the other door. Let them be on their way. But what if we tried something different? What if we just opened the front door and wedged it open? And we opened the back door of the house and we wedged that open too. So as we sit, observing breathing, observing the body, and observing all the little things that might arise, that arrive here in our little inner home as visitors. Some of these guests may be rude, unwelcome, others a pleasure. But now what if the doors are left open and we really welcome all that want to arrive? So any thought, any feeling, any reaction to anything that is seen or felt is allowed to enter. What if they're not just allowed to enter, but they are welcomed? The door is open. Things are allowed to enter, to be noticed, to come into our home. And also the back door is open, so things are allowed to leave in their own time. So the things we might want to hold on to, we can let go. We can allow to leave of their own volition. And we watch the play of visitors arriving and departing. Now it might even be that perhaps there were visitors that we had been keeping away, and what happens when we let them in? Perhaps they kick up a fuss. Maybe they make a lot of noise. They want a lot of attention. If we let them simply spend their energy, what happens? Even the wildest thought eventually runs out of steam, and eventually always finds its way back outside again. No thought persists. No feeling persists moment after moment. They all arise and then change and disappear. The noisiest, wildest visitors may create havoc and, as Rumi suggested, may sweep all the furniture out of the house. But perhaps they're just clearing some space for something new. When we allow completely things to arise and pass with no intervention whatsoever, not even a hand to just go, maybe not you. We let them in. We welcome them, to see them as they are. How does it feel to do this? By noticing, by watching, by being open to what arrives, we also get to see those that slip in quietly. They maybe lurk in the corner, unnoticed, but yet still there. Still creating some atmosphere in the house. Now we can observe them too, if they arrive. And being noticed, perhaps too they then depart, again in their own time. this house with no barriers. With a door wide open at the front and a door wide open at the back. Inviting all things to arise and all things to pass. As if indeed the house wasn't even here. It's just a space. As if the wind might blow in through one door and out the other. Sweeping away fallen leaves and dust as it goes, perhaps. Nothing to hinder its passing. Nothing to hold on to, cling to it. Nothing to prevent it. No waste of energy in preventing the wind, preventing guests arriving and departing. As you sit, and as breathing is taking place, and as all different sounds and feelings and thoughts and sensations arise and pass, we do nothing. We watch. We see clearly. Maybe even for the first time. We get to see all those visitors, all those inhabitants of this house. Those that make themselves known and those that hide in dusty corners. And being known, being seen, given attention. Perhaps they all pass. The courteous guest and the rude guest, all are being welcomed equally. Because we don't know what message they have to bring us. We don't know what opportunity arises. And so experience comes and goes. Rise and fall. And we just sit with doors wide open. Inviting everything to arrive and everything to depart. And so let's begin to draw the practice to a natural close. We might still leave the front door and the back door open. Just still welcoming whatever rises, whatever wishes to leave.